This is currently the best-selling drone on Amazon, and today we're going to find out why. The VELCASE S101 looks to come with a lot of pretty cool features, like an HD camera, a 6-axis gyro, altitude hold, voice control, 360 flips, FPV transmission, you can fold it up, and visual positioning. If you're new to drones and you don't know what all of those fancy features are, don't worry about it because we're going to go over all of them in this video. The drone does come with the carrying case. I like it. Included inside of the carrying case, you do get some propeller guards, a couple of instruction manuals, a set of AAA batteries for the transmitter, some extra screws that I assume are for the propeller guards, some extra blades, the world's smallest screwdriver, and your USB-A to micro B charger for the batteries. The drone comes with two of these 1050 milliamp battery packs. In my experience, they usually last about 10 minutes each. You have your controller, and one of the things that I really like that drone manufacturers have been doing recently is giving you this little card that shows you what every single button on the controller does, because a lot of these drone manufacturers have not been the best at doing this in the past. The controller feels as good as you would expect for about a $50 drone. Now, this controller does kind of give me the Xbox 360 controller vibes. You've got your buttons on the top here that will let you do a 360 flip, and then this will let you control the speed of the drone. This button here is to do an emergency stop of all blades on the drone. This button over here enables your photo and video modes. Up here is your takeoff and landing, and this one over here is your headless mode. The D-pad here is going to let you adjust the trim of the drone. If it's windy and the drone is tilting one way or the other, you can use this to fine-tune it. The left stick here makes the drone go up and down and yaw left and right. The right stick will make the drone either float right or float left or go forwards or backwards. Now, last but not least, you have the drone. Now, just like all other DJI drones and Amazon drones, all of the blades do fold up nicely into a pretty compact case, which is pretty nice. And of course, you have your 1080p full HD camera. Now, this drone does not have a gimbal, but you can manually adjust if you want the camera pointing up just like this or down at the ground. Now that you're familiar with the drone, it's time to get the app set up. To do that, you're just gonna need to scan this QR code here. You can either scan it on the video here if you're feeling fancy, or you can just scan it right out of the manual. And a side note, it is compatible with iOS and Androids. The app looks just like this. It's called VELCASE VGO. All right, let's go over the pairing process. First things first, put the batteries in the controller. Once that's done, turn the controller on by pressing this button here. Next thing you'll need to do is put the battery inside of the drone. Then hold the button on the drone to turn it on, just until you hear it beep. Now that both the controller and the drone are on, you're gonna need to go into the Wi-Fi networks on your phone. You're gonna see a Wi-Fi network called VELCASE S101. Once you're connected to that, go back to the drone app. It's gonna ask for access to your network. You'll have to hit allow to this. Then all you have to do is hit click to enter. And just like that, you can see the drone is already working. Now that we got this thing all figured out, we're gonna head out into a big field. We're gonna try out the 360 flips, the visual positioning. We're gonna see how far away we can get it away from us before it runs out of signal, how long the battery times are, and other things like that. So let's go. All right, so now that we've got this thing in the air, we're gonna try to do a couple things here. The first thing we should try out is probably the 360 flip. Ready? Ooh, I don't know if that was on camera or not. Let me try again. Well, the 360 flip kind of works. One thing I want to talk to you guys about real quick, ow, got my finger, is visual positioning. So basically, most expensive drones use GPS to basically hold themselves still in the air in one specific point. What drones like this do is they have little sensors on the bottom, and it uses visual positioning to look at the ground and go, okay, here's a spot on the ground, that's the spot that I'm gonna stay right over, and it uses that spot to keep the drone stable. Now, on days as windy as we are like today, that visual positioning does not work as well as it always should, but it still does a pretty good job. Now, as you guys can see by the video quality, it's kind of subpar. But basically, for a $50 drone, all of these $50 drones basically use the exact same camera. So more what we're looking for here is, you know, how smooth does the thing fly? How long does the battery last? How far away can we fly it? And you know what? Let's try that out right now. We're at this nice little baseball field here, and we're just gonna fly until we run out of signal, and then I'm gonna measure that. Hopefully it doesn't just fly into a tree. Oh, that's it. Okay. Yep, I've lost control. Oh, I've got it back. Okay, let me measure this real quick. All right, one of the cons that I've just recently kind of figured out, for some reason, the video recording feature on this, it'll work for a little bit and then it will stop working for a little bit and I'll have to hit the record button again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Just showing you guys my little camera setup here. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It was 40 yards to get out to where the drone stopped responding to the transmitter. So that's pretty good, I guess. You know, it's running off of Wi-Fi, so you're not gonna get crazy good range out of this thing. One thing I was using while I was flying was this little speed button here. If you push this while you're flying, it'll put the drone into 3 different modes, either a low fly or a low speed mode, a medium speed, and a high speed. If you're on really low speed, the wind will kind of push the drone and the drone doesn't have enough speed to kind of get back to where you want to be. So you have to put this thing into high speed basically in order to fight that wind. It's a really windy day. I probably should have picked a calmer day, but here we are. One thing that this drone does do that's kind of cool, or the drone app I should say, is VR mode. If you enable this, basically what it does is it duplicates the screen on the left and right side. And if you put your phone inside of VR goggles, just like so, you're gonna get that experience of kind of being like you're in VR. I think the latency on this would probably make you like seasick or nauseous, but maybe not if you've got a strong stomach. Other cool things that this drone does, and I will show you guys this on screen here really quick. It will basically, you have different filters that you can apply. You know, it's kind of a cheap setting, but it is kind of cool that it lets you, kind of color grade your footage in real time. I think that's basically like all the features this thing has. For 50 bucks, I think this is, probably good for a kid or something. Well, fortunately, I did screen record this whole process on my iPhone. So even though the video did cut in and out throughout this whole process, I will have that to kind of show you guys what it's like on the first-person view experience. Now, the real question is whether you guys should buy this. Well, the thing is, if you want to buy it, there's going to be a link in the description down below. But if you buy this drone, you have to keep in mind that this is a drone that's really good for like a 10-year-old, somebody who you want to understand the functions of the drone. How do you take off a drone? How do you fly it around? Because the controls to fly this drone and the controls to fly a $300 DJI drone are the exact same. So it's kind of cool if you want to give this to a young person who's looking to get their first drone, just to kind of teach them the basics of it, because you can fly this inside of your house, in a garage, kind of in a safe environment, and it will kind of teach the kids the basic functions of a drone. And I think that's really the main purpose of a drone like this, because the video quality, it sucks. The camera quality, it also kind of sucks. The flips are kind of cool. The visual positioning when you're flying inside, like when I was flying in my garage, it did work, and that was really cool. So if you're flying this thing inside, it's gonna work great. And I think the video signal inside of an enclosed environment like that is probably gonna be a bit better. If you want something better than this, you're probably gonna have to spend around $200 for something like the Mini 2 SE by DJI. I think that's kind of like the best value, lower price drone right now. If you want to spend under $200, that's when you get into the Wi-Fi drones like this, where the video quality just can't really be compared with those $200 DJI drones. So like I said, if you guys want to pick this thing up, it's gonna be a link in the description down below. That's it for this video. I've done a whole series on videos like this: the most sold RC car on Amazon, the most sold RC excavator on Amazon, the most sold drones, and it's always changing. So hopefully in the future, some of these drone manufacturers are gonna come out with drones that are a little bit better than this to give this a little bit more competition. That's it though for this video. If you guys like this kind of stuff, leave a like on the video. Let me know in the comments down below what else you guys would like to see. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.